Okay, so welcome. I'm going to repeat myself one more time. My husband is not teaching tonight. Sorry, Dave, even though Molly said, Dave's teaching tonight. Jump on with your husband. He's not, so it's me, but that's okay, hopefully. Grab a piece of paper, pencil to take notes with, pen, whatever. Also, I've muted you. If you'd like to unmute, that's totally fine, to ask me questions or wait till the end or put it in the chat. If you have oils, a sample of oil or any of the above, please grab them. I love people to be able to touch, smell, and taste oils while we're chatting. So I'm going to share my screen with you because sometimes I feel like it's easier to follow along while sharing my screen. So I'm going to be talking about the basics of essential oils, the how, what, why of them, why I love them, and how they've changed my life and my family's life. So, okay. The goal of this class is to empower you. My goal is to show you the ways that I've used oils, how I've used oils, and how that can now turn over to you using oils in your household. So I want to talk about the 3 cool things about oils, the 3 ways you use them, and how you can get them into your own home. So again, if you have questions along the way, let's make sure you ask them or at the end. All right, so let's jump into this. The 3 cool things about essential oils is where I'm going to start. The first really cool thing about essential oils is that they're safe. So I'll just start with a story. I got introduced to essential oils about 7.5, almost 8 years ago. Crazy, it's been that long. I was pregnant with my 4th and last child when I got introduced to them. So my story is that I got introduced to peppermint oil. If you have peppermint oil and you want to grab it, I love peppermint oil. It's probably my favorite top oil that I go to. I love it so much. So peppermint oil is actually the oil that I was first introduced to. I was pregnant with my 4th child. She's now 7 years old. I was super nauseous and very unhappy about being pregnant. And my friend brought me peppermint oil and she's like, rub it on your stomach, add it to water and see if it helps with nausea. And it totally did. And I was hooked, honestly, on essential oils. And after I tried peppermint, I was like, what else can I use? And I went to a class and discovered all the different things that I could do with essential oils. So the thing with doTERRA essential oils, and I'll talk about this a little bit here with the 3 cool things, is that doTERRA oils are different. They really are. They're different than other oils you can get out there. Oils are really trendy. You can find them anywhere. They're in our world now, right? They're very abundant, but we need to be really cautious about which oils we're using because some are 100% natural and safe and some honestly are not. So we need to be aware of that. So doTERRA has a website, and if you want to write this down, it's called sourcetoyou.com. And it basically goes through and tells you the exact process of how they test their oils, how they third-party test their oils, where their oils come from. And so I really like that website to go to because it really makes everything very transparent, okay? So doTERRA promises that it's exactly what's in the bottle. If it says it's peppermint, then it's gonna be peppermint, okay? All right, so the second cool thing about essential oils is that they're very effective. The example I like to use is we need immune support, right? Right now, especially in this world, every single person needs additional immune support. I like to use the example of On Guard because On Guard is called the protective blend. And what it does is it actually can help protect our body. So if our immune system's impaired or if we're feeling a little under the weather, it can actually help repair the cells in our body to feel better, okay? So I like to use this example of if this was a cell in my body, and you can see it on the picture here, but imagine the doTERRA bottle is a cell, and we have millions of cells in our body, Okay, they have an oily membrane around them, which protects the cell. But viruses can live inside the cell. A cell can be damaged, and bacterial infections live around cells. And antibiotics can actually get rid of a bacterial infection around the cell. It kills good bacteria and bad bacteria. But if something's inside the cell, it actually can't get to it because it's water-based. Well, oils are oil-based, right? So they can actually penetrate a cellular wall, get into the cell, and help repair it, help kick out the virus, help us feel better faster, protect our body. So that is why they're so effective. So imagine if you have a sore throat, okay, and you put On Guard into your mouth. I like to use On Guard. I have a bottle of On Guard right here. I do this a lot. I make my kids do it. On Guard is a little spicy, but if you just tip it on your finger like this and lick your finger, swish it around and swallow it, you're actually protecting your throat. You're protecting your cells in your body. It can get into your system really quickly that way and be very effective on your immune system. So it's one thing that I do actually as a preventative, but I also do it if I'm feeling under the weather. So that's just one example of how you can use it. Oregano is another fantastic oil to help protect our body. It's one that I call the natural antibiotic. Things don't like to grow around oregano. They can really help keep your immune system good and healthy. So keep that in mind. So that's the second cool thing, is that they're very effective. The third cool thing is that they're affordable. So the example I like to give is, imagine if you had an earache. This has happened in our household many times. Honestly, not as many as some, but it has happened quite a few times. I distinctly remember, I think it was Rudd, one of my kids. I think he was about 6 years old. He'd come home from school and his ear was just hurting. You could tell it was really bothering him. And so as a mom, I called my mom and I was like, Mom, Rudd's ear is hurting, dang it. She's like, well, do you need to take him to the doctor? And I said, yeah, no, I'm going to wait and see how he does the rest of tonight. I'm going to try some oils on him. And if he's not feeling better by tomorrow, then I'll take him to the doctor. So I looked up in my book, and if you haven't seen a book, I should have my book. Let me grab my book. I looked up in my book because I wasn't sure what to do. And I looked up earache, and it said tea tree oil works really well. Lavender works really well. Basil works really well for earaches. So I just rubbed it around his ear. I put a couple drops on a cotton ball and had him hold it by his ear, and he laid down. And honestly, we did that 2 more times before he went to bed. And the next day he was totally fine. So if I want to break down how affordable that was, instead of taking him to the doctor, having to pay a copay, having to have the doctor write a prescription, having to go pick up the prescription, now having them to take an antibiotic for 10 days, me having to take the time to do that, it would have cost a minimum of $50. Even if you have the most affordable insurance, it's still going to cost you and the time for him to get better, right? Where using the oils maybe cost me $1, probably less, with a few drops. So oils can be very affordable when you're comparing between all of the things I just mentioned with, the whole procedure of going to the doctor. I don't know about you guys, but if you have a child, if you've witnessed giving a child an antibiotic, it is torture for the parent and the child, and not something that I ever want to live through, where really I can empower my kids to put oils on themselves, which they do know how to do now. So the 3 cool things about essential oils is that they're safe, they're effective, and they're affordable. I really do believe all 3 of those things. All right, next I'm going to talk about the 3 ways to use essential oils. So I've already mentioned this a little bit in a few of the examples I've given, but if you do have oils with you, if you have a bottle of oil with you, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a little demo for you. So if you have peppermint oil, which I've already talked about, but it is a really good example in my opinion, take your bottle of peppermint and hold your hand and drop one drop. Oh, I got two. Try only to get one. Comes out very quickly. And what you're going to do when you have that little bubble of oil on your hand, and I should note, one drop of peppermint oil, doTERRA's peppermint oil, is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. It's very potent, meaning you only need 1 to 2 drops per application, per dose, right? You really don't need more than that. I'll tell you a few ways that I use peppermint oil here in a minute, but first let me show you this. So if you put your finger in it, what I want you to do is stick it in your eye. Kidding, don't do that. That would really hurt. I'm really kidding about that. Now, if you do get peppermint in your eye or any other essential oil actually directly in your eye, you'd want to use coconut oil or some sort of fatty substance. So milk, butter, olive oil, anything will get that stinging out. Okay, you still have it on your finger? Put it in your mouth. Drop it in your mouth or lick your tongue, lick your finger. Swish it around, swallow it. You can probably feel it all the way down your throat. You can probably feel it just totally get into your mouth. Now rub your hands together. And before you take a deep breath, rub it on the back of your neck. And here in a couple minutes, I guarantee you, you'll feel that on your neck. It's hot where I'm at today. I don't know where you guys live, but it's actually really warm here in San Diego. And then what I want you to do is rub your hands together and then take a deep breath and be careful because it is very strong, but take a really deep inhale and feel that all the way down to your chest. I love doing that. If I ever feel super like just overwhelmed and I feel really lethargic and tired and need a pick-me-up, that is such a good thing to do because it just really gets down into your chest. So I just told you the 3 ways that you can use essential oils. The first way is aromatically. So taking that deep inhale, getting it into your chest, through your nose, is a fantastic way to get oils into your body, into your system. It's also a really sneaky way to get oils into your system, into your body, or those around you. If you have kids in your house, if you have a husband in your house that is like, essential oils, put it in a diffuser because they don't get to choose if they're gonna have it or not, right? Be careful not to touch your eyes. If you have peppermint on your hands right now, be careful not to touch your eyes. Okay, if you can see behind me, I have a cute little elephant diffuser up on the shelf up there. That is something that doTERRA had for sale a few years ago that I love and I have in my workshop area where I work. But diffusers, here's another picture of them right here, are a really great way of getting oils into the air aromatically. A few things that I like to use oils in the diffuser for are to clean the air. So putting On Guard in the diffuser is a great way to clean your air, antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. Another thing I like to use aromatically is emotional oils. So things like wild orange, things like lemon are uplifting, energizing, really cleaning, anything like that. And then the other way that I like to use them is for sleeping at night is a great way. So at night in the diffuser, I like to put things like Serenity and Breathe. Serenity is a really calming oil. It's got lavender in it. It's very calming to the system. Breathe, I love putting in the diffuser because it helps your airways stay open and it's a great one to put in there. So another one. Okay, so that's aromatically. Topically is that second way. Can anybody feel that on their neck, on their chest from putting those oils on? I love that. It feels like an ice pack. It feels so cooling. It helps with headaches. So topically, you can put the oils on where you're bothered. If you have a stomach ache, rub them on your stomach. If you have a headache, rub them on your neck or your head up here. If you have a bug bite, put it straight on the bug bite. If you had acne, put it on, that type of thing. But if you had a sore back, you could put something like Deep Blue topically on your back, and it would help relieve that area or that tension. If you had a stomach ache and you wanted to use something like Digescent is a great oil for anything to do with stomach upset. And I like to just rub that on my belly, or sometimes I'll put it down my chest for heartburn. It's a great one. Topically, if you have sensitive skin, if you're using it on a child, diluting oils is very effective and really, really good. So there's a little picture here of coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, which means it doesn't solidify. It's very non-greasy. It goes it goes really nicely on your skin. And it actually doesn't take the effects of the oil down, but it actually just spreads them out over your skin, and the absorption rate, it goes down. If you noticed, if you use that peppermint oil, it's not greasy at all. It doesn't feel greasy. It feels like it absorbs almost immediately into your system. With coconut oil, it slows down the rate that it gets into your system, and it can go over a further area. So if you're putting it like on your lower back, for instance, you could use 1 drop of deep blue oil and a couple drops of coconut oil, and it's going to make it spread further on your back. Or if you had a sore knee, or if you wanted to use it kind of like a lotion over your whole arms, that type of thing. You could add a drop of lavender and tea tree, for instance, with a couple drops of coconut oil, and rub it down your arms if they were dry and itchy, that type of thing. So the other way that I like to use oils topically, for children especially, is the bottom of your feet. If there's an oil you don't like the scent of, my husband hates the smell of digestion, but if he has an upset stomach, I'll put it on his feet with coconut oil, and he'll put on socks and he can't smell it. So that can be very effective. For little babies, putting it on the bottom of their feet, it gets into their bloodstream, but it's not as harsh. It's not as strong, I should say. Okay, so that's topically. And then the last way is internally. Internally is honestly probably my favorite way to use essential oils. Is silly and maybe not as common as known, but internal use is very easy. I put oils in my mouth all day long. And I will tell you, you can put them into water. You can put them into an empty veggie cap. You can put them straight on your tongue. You can put them under your tongue. So 2 examples I like to give is lemon water. Every single morning, I take a mug and I fill it with water, about 8 ounces, and I put 2 to 3 drops of lemon oil in my water, and I drink it. And it's the best way that I have found to wake up my system, to get my organs working, to get my blood flow going, to get my kidneys and liver functioning after being asleep. It really does open up my mind and my body to start the day. It's a great way to detox your body as well. So lemon oil, if you don't have lemon oil, something like wild orange is really great, any sort of citrus oil, but lemon is fantastic for cleansing your body. So I put oils in my water literally all day long, but I definitely make sure that I put them in first thing in the morning. And then the other thing that I like to tell people is I use frankincense underneath my tongue. So what I do is, I don't have frankincense right here, but I'll just show you. I just put it on the bottom of my finger, or on my finger, and I rub my teeth, my bottom lip teeth, and I put it under there because it's very effective at getting into your bloodstream really quickly. And the reason that I use frankincense over other oils under my tongue every day, frankincense is kind of the go-to oil if you don't know what to use. When in doubt, use frankincense. It's kind of like an oil saying. But the reason that I love it is because it helps with inflammation in my body, but it also helps with depression and anxiety. And depression and anxiety run in my family. And luckily, I don't have depression, but anxiety does run in my body, and stress and overwhelm do too. So frankincense under the tongue has been very effective for me. And the way that I like to explain it is, it gives me more of a glasses half full outlook on life instead of a glasses half empty outlook on life. So if anybody else feels that way, or if you're feeling, a little overwhelmed, frankincense is a great one for under the tongue. And that's the way I like to use it. So there's a recipe called Flume. That's frankincense, lemon, on guard, oregano, and tea tree that you can put into an empty veggie cap and take as immune support. And it's fantastic, especially right now while we need immune support. I mean, when do we not need immune support, right? So there you go. There's the 3 ways that you use oils. All right. Now, I just wanted to touch for a second on a couple other oils that I really like that I wanted to mention because they're some of my very favorites. So Balance is one of them. Balance can be used in all the different ways that's listed here, and I'm sure even more ways than is listed here. But the reason that I like Balance is it helps your cells really free flow in your body. So sometimes when you feel sluggish or you feel down or you feel like you're kind of like up in a ball and you want to be like this, Balance gives you that sense of, I got this. I've got that grounding, emotional, I can take on what's going to happen today. So the way that I like to use it is I like to rub it on the bottom of my feet before I put on my shoes in the morning. And then so I'll rub it on my feet, and then I usually have a little bit left on my hands, and I'll take a couple of deep inhales of it. But it really does help with that, I got this kind of attitude. And I really like that about it. It does help with a lot of other things. I mean, I was talking to my friend she had gotten Balance, and she was like, it's crazy. I was walking down the stairs and I had just put the Balance on, and she's like, I felt like I was just more sure in my step. And she's like, I know that sounds so silly, but that's just how I felt. And I thought that was so cool. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but it really does help with aligning our body and really grounding our body. So I love to tell people about Balance. All right. The other one is Adaptive. Adaptive has honestly changed my life, and that is not me being like overly talkative about it or whatever the saying is, but Adaptive has literally changed the way that our household runs. I have been taking the Adaptive capsule and the Adaptive essential oil every single day for the last 6 months. And it really does change how my body feels. So I was talking about the anxiety in my body and how I feel overwhelmed a lot of the time. Well, Adaptive has given me back that kind of stability that I needed. It's given me back the calmness that my body needed. Um, and one of my kids, especially one of my kids, has a lot of the same things going on that I do when it comes to anxiety and the kind of crazy, he's always kind of up here and then he's always kind of down here and then he's always up here. And instead, we need him to be more like this, especially trying to do school. So he's been taking an Adaptive capsule every morning before he goes to school and now before he does homeschool, to help with that kind of stability. And it has made the hugest difference. And I can tell night and day if he's taken it and if he hasn't taken it, with how his balance of his emotions are and how he can concentrate more. So if you haven't tried Adaptive, I would highly recommend it, because it's really one of those oils that has really changed how our household, the attitude of our household. Because honestly, I'm the mom, and how, my attitude kind of sets the mood for the household, unfortunately. Fortunately. Copaiba is another one that I love to tell people about. It's kind of like this hidden oil that a lot of people maybe don't know about, but Copaiba helps with so many different things. Two of them, high one is anxiety, and 2, inflammation in our body, which can be chronic pain, muscle aches, those type of things that are going on in a lot of people's bodies. Copaiba is one of those ones that I add with the frankincense underneath my tongue every single day. I've heard people put it in their shake every morning. You can't really taste it that way, but it's been a really good one for anything that has to do with chronic pain. People like to compare it to CBD oil. It's got a lot of the same constituents, chemistry makeup as CBD oil, but you don't have any of that THC. It does not come from hemp. It comes from a tree in the Amazon. But it is definitely one that I use every single day, and I am very thankful for. So that son that takes the adaptive every day, he also takes a Copaiba soft gel every day. I love it. So there you go. All right, so I've put up on the screen, text me. And I honestly don't know all of you because you've come from lots of places. But whoever invited you to this class, can you please text them your 3 top health concerns and do that right now? Because they want to help you. I want to help you with oils. My mission is to get oils into people's homes because they've been that impactful on my life and on my family's life. I can't imagine, especially right now, I can't imagine oils not being in our lives. So can you please take the time to text the person that invited you and say, thank you for inviting me to this class. And I was told to give you my top 3 health concerns and that you would help me figure out how to get oils for those top 3 health concerns. So just take a second and do that. If I invited you to this class, you can text me right now. I'm not sure exactly who's on because I can't even see everybody, but we'll do that. And then the last thing that I'm going to teach you is the 3 ways to purchase. So I've told you a lot of information. I've told you about how you, I'll text you at the end. Somebody asked what the flume recipe was. I'll tell you at the end. So, okay. I can't keep the chat up and this up, but 3 ways to purchase. So I've told you 3 cool things about essential oils, 3 ways to use them, and now I'll tell you how you can get them into your home if you wish to start using them more. So the first way is retail. It's honestly not my favorite way to buy oils. I don't usually even like to tell people about retail because it's not very effective in purchasing for you. And my mission is to help you get oils the most effective way. So if you want 1 bottle of oil, talk to the person that invited you and they can maybe help you out with that. But really, it's not very effective. It's more expensive. You don't get the benefits of having a membership. So really, the second way to buy oils is wholesale. It's kind of like getting a Costco membership. So you get 25% below retail value. And just so you have a comparison, a bottle of lemon oil, for instance, is $11 wholesale. Retail, it's about $16, something like this. I'd have to do the math on it to find out, but something like that. So every time you buy, you're saving 25%, which is pretty dang cool. And then the third way to buy essential oils is actually getting a discounted starter package. There's a lot of different kits that doTERRA has put together to help it be more cost effective, the most cost effective, honestly. So not only are you getting a membership for free, which is normally $35, but you're also getting the oils at a lower price. So let me just show you a couple of kits so that you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So the first kit that I'll talk about is the Natural Solutions Kit. This kit is honestly freaking amazing. You're getting a little bit of everything. So when I talk about putting doTERRA all over your household, you could do that with this kit. You could have it in your bathroom. You could have it by your kitchen sink. You could have it in your family room with the diffuser. You can have it, a central station for all your oils. And you're kind of getting a dabbling of a lot of different things. It's a really great kit to say, yes, I'm ready to start using oils and putting it really into my life. So that kit is $550, and you're getting a lot of really great stuff. The second kit that I'll tell you about is called the Healthy Essentials Kit. Honestly, this kit right here is probably the one I sell the most of because it is the bigger size bottle. So doTERRA oils sometimes can come in a smaller size bottle. This is a normal size bottle. It's 15 milliliters. It's about 250 drops. So all of these bottles right here are that size, except for this littler one right here. It's 5 ml, which is about 80 drops. But this one doesn't come in a bigger bottle. But this kit right here gives you the 10 oils that I would say you'd use the most in your household. It gets you the emotional side of oils, the ailment side, and the preventative side all in one kit, which is really helpful. Plus a diffuser, which is really awesome. This kit, oh gosh, I can't remember the price of this kit. I think it's around $250. And then the last kit that I'll tell you about is called the Healthy Start Kit. So again, you get 10 oils. They're a little bit different than the other kit, but they're all that smaller size. I call it like a sampler kit. It gets you a little bit of a lot of things to really start with, but you're probably going to end up having to replace them pretty quickly because they're not going to last as long as that other kit. But this kit right here also comes with a diffuser, and it's about, I think it's $160. So it's a good value to start with. It's really not as, good of value as this kit right here, but it's still a really good value. All right. So again, reach out to the person that invited you. Make sure you text them your 3 health concerns. Make sure you say to them that you came to this class and that you're interested in learning more. I guess if you are interested in learning more. But again, my mission is to get oils into people's homes because I really do feel that passionate about them and how effective they can be in helping us. All right. So if you do end up getting oils, if you end up starting with oils and getting a membership, so doTERRA has, this might seem confusing right here, so I don't want to confuse you, but if you get started, you can get free oils, additional oils. So reach out to that person and find out more about that. But the oils that you can get for free is Citrus Bliss if you get a smaller kit, and if you get that big Natural Solutions kit, you'd actually get both oils for free, which is pretty awesome. And then the second month, if you were to get more oils, you'd actually get even more stuff for free, which is pretty rad. If you have enjoyed this class and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, my mom, my sister, and my aunt really need to see this class and I'd really love for them to see it, host your own class. Have me teach it for you, or have the person that invited you to this class, have them host a class for you just like this one. Because not only are they going to give you something for hosting the class, but hearing this information, honestly, more than one time is so beneficial. I've heard this information, honestly, so many times, but when I first started using oils, I wanted to hear the same information over and over again because that's how I learned. That's how I started using them. That's how they became an intricate part of my life. So host a class for somebody because not only are you getting the benefits, but so are they. All right. And that is all. If you would like to stay on, I'm going to talk for just 2 minutes about how I got started using the oils and how I started doing the business. Because honestly, sharing oils has been huge for me. It's been honestly huge for me. When I started doing this, I'd already used the oils for 3 years, and I started sharing them with everybody. And I didn't realize that there was even a business opportunity, which is crazy when I think about it now, because if I heard somebody was sick, I was giving them oil. If I heard that somebody needed something, I was taking them oil. And I didn't realize that me doing that was sharing oils with other people, and that could actually turn into a really viable business. So why doTERRA and why right now? First of all, doTERRA is the largest essential oil company in the world. It's the most tested, most trusted oils in the market. It's used by doctors and hospitals worldwide. It's ethically and sustainably sourced, works directly with farmers. There's so many really cool things about doTERRA, honestly. I won't read them all. So you might have a few questions. One of the questions is, how do I make money? How much time is involved? Could this work for me? What is the next step? So how do you make money? You make money by giving oils to people, little tiny vials to people. We call that sampling. You teach people or invite them to a class just like this one. You enroll them or help them get their own membership, and then you give them support by adding them to Facebook groups that have tons of education or continuing education, or getting on the phone with them and answering their questions about how oils work. There's so much earning potential. So it doesn't matter if you're like, I want my oils for free, meaning I want to use I want to tell a few people about this and I can get my oils paid for. Or you can do like me and have where you've replaced your income, your previous income, with doTERRA now. Me and my husband do this full time. This is all we do together, and it's been very sustainable for our family. So, how much time is involved? Well, if you want your oils paid for, 3 to 5 hours a week is plenty. You want to supplement your income, 5 to 15 hours. If you want to replace your income like we've done, 15 to 30 hours a week. So not even a 40-hour week, and you could work towards replacing your income, which is huge, which is awesome. It's literally changed our life financially. Could this work for me? Well, are you passionate about oils? Do you love people? And can you follow a system and get things done? Here's what I'll say. It doesn't matter what stage you're at, or if you're like, I'd like to dabble, or I'd like to replace my income. There is a very good system and a very good support that you can do this. I promise you. I am actually not one that really likes to go out in public and talk to people and be around people. I'm more of an introvert. I like to stay home. And I have gotten out of my shell. I have gotten to where I'm 180 degrees different than I was 5 years ago when I started talking about oils. And I love it. And I've met so many awesome people. So, um, what's the next step? If you're interested, reach out for help. Reach out to the person that invited you. Talk to them, because I know that they'll have a solution for you. Or talk to me if you need help. Thank you guys for listening, and let's see if you guys have any questions. I'm sorry if you have things in the chat. Let me just double check here. Okay, let's see. Oh, the flume recipe. Oh, somebody wrote it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I will add to what Annie said, and doesn't look like I'm not sure who asked this even, but I usually do about 2 drops of each of those. So I appreciate you guys listening and staying on. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know, or let the person that invited you know. Thanks so much. Bye.